Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, what is going on? Happy Monday. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Good to see y'all after a fun weekend. The Little Smile Stars Ball went down on Saturday night. Another great event. Lots of money raised. The kids were absolutely fantastic. So inspiring to see them out there and doing such an amazing job. What a great selection of kids, too. They came from different walks of life. They had all different stories, too, and it was really kind of neat just to hear everything that they had gone through and the courage that each one of those kids had, no matter what their challenge was. All greater challenges that I think probably I would crumble under. They are thriving and doing well and out there looking great and smiling. So.
I loved it because, you saw those kids on the dance floor just letting loose, just enjoying this special night. And for one night, none of those dramatic things that hooked them up with little smiles mattered.
Yeah.
And they just got to be innocent sweethearts, just dancing around, living their best life. It makes me so happy.
There was one boy that had lost his leg in a shark attack, and he has said, I'm not going to be afraid of the water, the sharks. I love snorkeling. And he goes back out and snorkels in the exact spot where he lost his leg.
Jameson.
Yeah. It's amazing,
What
isn't
a legend.
Yeah. Really cool. And I ran into his family, got to talk to his grandpa on the way out. They were so appreciative of the night and everything it was.
Yeah, it was a great event.
It was so fun.
Yep. So it was all good. All went down. People seem to love the birds look. Got a lot of positive comments on that.
I mean, the two most talked about people on our social media were the bird and the queen.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody was saying the bird looked like the most eligible bachelor in the house.
He did.
Did they slur it like that?
It's rough, bruh.
Were they drinking as well?
They might have also had Kahlua with coffee.
Yeah, there's a photo of myself and the bird. If you're watching KVJ TV on YouTube right now or on Twitch.
And then I immediately sang Candle in the Wind by Elton John.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good look there.
A stylish jacket.
And there was the queen. There you can see that photo of us.
Yes, queen.
Yeah, y'all look hot as fuck, as they say, the kids say.
Hot AF.
Well, I got you coming right in, too, because I just so happened to be checking on Magnolia and her people. And so the queen and Kevin were walking in. They were fresh, just fresh out the house.
Funky fresh,
That's
Virginia.
the best time to take pictures, when you're fresh like that.
Yeah, you're not beat down from the event.
Right. You don't have a bloated face yet from drinking too much wine.
Yeah.
Like I get.
So anyway, went with that. And it was kind of funny because Jaybird's thought for the day to wrap up the show, I thought was just so good. And I was like, I had to tell you, I'm like, it's something that I needed to hear because the thought for the day today was just about, pausing when something angers you before you respond. And gosh, I'm usually really good at that. And I know I try to take a breath and get away. And I don't know what it is. It's just over the last, I would say it's going on a week now where it just seems like fucking everybody's out after me.
Well, and they push and push and push.
Yeah.
And so when somebody pushes at you and they're in the wrong, you are going to eventually flip out on them.
I saw one instance with my own eyes where you are not in the wrong and you got called out in front of other people. And I don't fucking like that shit because you weren't wrong.
Right.
No,
you got
weren't.
called out, and you got called out in a sassy way, and then you kind of got doubled down on as if you were the one being the jerk, which you were not.
It's kind of a weird thing because normally I'm like, look, you can have the win, I don't care, but it's like it just feels like everybody's coming at me, and then you get gaslit when you come back and be like, no, let me just stand up for myself for a second. Then they're like, well, you're fucking crazy and unhinged.
No.
Why are you so angry?
No, don't let people do that. I saw what was written and it was wrong.
We all saw it, and we all know that you did no wrong.
So it kind of started with that, and so I had that little episode going on, and then I'm like, all right, well, I've got to just. I think what happens is, with this show. You do a show, then you got to get ready and do another show, and you got to do another show.
It's never ending.
And then you got events on the weekend, and you think, well, you had a weekend. We all had weekends. There's just something about doing this show, though, that it just. Monday I'm my freshest. By Friday, I'm almost physically ill because you're so kind of just drained and beat down from it. I know a lot of people kind of go through that, but sometimes the weekend isn't enough. And so, and I don't know if anybody else has to deal with comments as much as we do too. So you're critiqued for every little thing you do in this job.
So many critiques, and some of them are downright brutally harsh and mean.
But it is a unique situation because a lot of the critiques not only about your job, but it's about your personality
and your face,
which is weird,
and so, your character.
And so, exactly.
So your thought today was really good because today I kind of got hit with that. I come in here and first thing trying to get caught up on a Monday and get going, and the first thing I see is, why did Kevin wear sneakers to Little Smiles?
Damn.
I was like, I don't know.
I thought you looked great.
Yeah. So I did something a little bit funkier because I used to go very buttoned up in the tuxedo, and I felt like maybe I was a little too serious. Everybody else is out there doing that. I'm KVJ. Lighten up a little bit there, Francis.
This is the one event all year.
Go a little looser.
You don't have to be anything. You can be loose because it's for the kids. But the kids love sneakers.
But I think that person that was commenting was more making fun of Virginia's commentary last week about shoes at classy events and how I was again. They were more poking fun at Virginia and not you, I believe.
Right.
They were
because Panda, we were going to a different event that was stuffy.
But they were they were kidding around.
And so I forgot about that comment. And so you don't know because you get all these things here, and it's the comments like, I don't know. I'm like, because he wanted to.
Yeah. I know what you mean, though.
And then it's like, did he have to show Virginia that it's all cool to be able to wear sneakers at a fancy gathering? I'm like, so you're getting, I'm like, I don't know. They're just shoes. What's the big deal? And I forgot about Virginia's comment.
My wedding was older people. It wasn't like, it wasn't fun like the Stars Ball. It was a fun wedding, but it was just different.
So to that person, I'm like, you get hit with stuff and you get texts and you get all this kind of stuff. You're like, you just get people coming at you from every direction. I don't know, because I fucking want to wear shoes. I don't know what I got to explain myself.
Believe me, I have done that. Where I've popped off on social media or in the chat room, and I'm going, oh shit, that was a little too. No, sorry, I didn't mean to sound such a dick.
I'm running hot.
Yeah.
Are you having a hot flash?
Yeah. So it's just so it's like you got to take a deep breath. So I heard that word from Bird today, and it's not going to fall on deaf ears. I'm going to try to get back to where I was because, that was part of my problem last week was I got the comment and I didn't take a second to pause and be like, just don't worry about it. Just whatever. So, and I didn't do that, and I usually do. And I did for whatever. Like I'd said, I was in a weird place last week, and I'm not sure. I'm trying to shake it, and I think I have a lot of it. But I was just ready to fight the world. And it was just, it's a rare mood for me.
Well, do you know, I think a big part of it, kind of, you're such a creature of habit and routine and making sure your shit is together. And I really feel like the domino effect happened when Cannon took your phone and it died.
Did, yeah.
That one day fucked everything. Right. That's all it takes for you.
That's all it's, if you missed that, he had my phone. He kept coming in. He needed 2 phones for a draft he was doing. And I'm trying to be chill and understanding. And he kept walking in, waking me up every 2 minutes. I'm like, why don't you just take the phone? Like, just make sure you plug it back in.
Take the phone and get the hell out of my bedroom.
Right, instead of continuing to walk in.
Snapped.
And then I woke up the next morning. I'm like, I just knew it was off. My body's like, uh-oh. And I reached for my phone to see what time it was, and my phone wasn't there. And I get up, and it is a full hour and 40 minutes later than when I normally wake up. And, doing the show, getting it together, if you don't know, there's just a lot of detail work.
An hour and 40 minutes is life-changing.
It's life-changing.
I mean, as it is, I'm down to the second. I keep waking up earlier and earlier and earlier. I'm getting back into that old rut I used to, where I used to wake up at like midnight.
Oh, boy.
Just to get everything done. But then I was, exhausted and sleep-deprived, and everybody hated me outside of the station. So you're trying to find that balance. And
there's no balance. Good luck.
You're right, Bird. That threw everything off.
Oh, shit. The chat room's got a good point. Did Magnolia possibly give Kevin the black cloud?
Oh,
is
I
it
don't know,
contagious,
maybe,
Kev?
did
Was it
just-
transferred?
I don't believe in that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
my
but yeah.
goodness.
Oh, boy.
Well, bad things happen in
Yeah.
3. I mean 4, Kev. I mean 5, Kev.
Yeah. So when Canada did that, what happened the whole day was because if any one little thing, it's like I have like 10 spinning plates. So when something goes off, 8 plates fall. And then people are like, hey, you fucked up. Hey, you fucked up. So my whole day
Hey,
was, hey, you
fuckface.
fucked up. Hey, you fucked
Hey,
up. Hey, you
fuckface.
fucked up. It's what I expected. Like my whole day is going to be like, hey, you fucked up. So it was like after about the 12th, hey, you fucked ups, like somebody came for me and I was just like, all right, motherfucker.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that's annoying, anytime it's work related and it's if we can't do something or if there's a problem, it's never because we want to be lazy or not do it.
Right.
It's because there's a legitimate reason why we as a show can't be involved in it.
Right.
We're not one to piss things off,
Yeah.
say fuck that. And
Don't
that's
want
what,
that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
It's
your
not the style.
I don't think your response was bad, to be quite honest with you.
Okay, but I noticed for me and for my style, the way I like to be, it was a little tight. And Karen from Pembroke Pines, she said, Kevin, you're commenting on the ATS about how on Wednesday you wanted to fight the world, everything made you angry, and you had a hard time calming down. Well, I wanted to share, and I think Virginia would agree, those feelings are how PMS feels every single month. Everything pisses you off. You just literally kick somebody's ass. No real good reason.
Yes, maybe you had PMS, baby.
Yeah, maybe it was.
There is something to that, though. We all have moods.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
sometimes you don't understand where the anger and the pissiness is coming from. Is it because of sleep? Is there an underlying issue there?
It could be health stuff on the inside of you that you don't even know is going on.
Yeah.
It could be you're deficient in something and it's just altering your mood.
Did you eat too much shit with salt and you're retaining more? I don't know. Is there something, sometimes when you're just in a mood and you can't figure out why you're so pissy, I'd like to
Yeah.
know if there's other reasons going on there.
Right, yeah. And who knows what it was. But yeah, it was just one of those things. And I think a big part for me is with this job is it doesn't stop. You know, that's just it. Where it's like I can take it for a while, but then you get a chance to break away and you're like, okay, I can reset. And,
Yes.
But it's when it's like, you know, if somebody's poking, spin you around, poking, then you're like, eventually,
All right.
you're just like, okay.
Well, Monday could be a great show. Tuesday could be a great show. What the fuck? Wednesday show sucks. And then you hear about,
Yeah,
you know,
but it doesn't take one. For me, it takes poke. And then eventually you're like, all right, I got to get a break because I'm about to go off on somebody. And that's when you can't run and hide anywhere. And because you can't run away from work. So you have to get in there and try to take it. You still got to take it. And you're trying to take that deep breath still in the midst of the storm with the hail hitting you in the face. You're like, all right, I got to chill the fuck out somehow. And that's why you got alcohol.
well, just know though, it's a that's a real human thing to feel. Everyone goes through that. Everyone has that rage feeling, whatever, because people are hitting you.
Right.
It's normal. That can
So
happen.
I am aware.
And
Trying
that's
to
why
get ahead
this
of it.
podcast is brought to you by Atoll Vodka.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
we need more vodka.
But I know what you mean, though, when you get in that mad mood and you do respond in a way quickly and with anger or more, just a way you didn't want to handle it, you feel bad after.
Yeah.
And that's even worse than the anger.
You do.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel
yeah,
bad.
but I felt like today.
If
I'm
I
like,
pop, there's a reason I popped.
I always feel bad when I get angry, always. The anger, the lesson for me anyway, is the after effect of the anger is always just the worst thing ever.
I don't ever like to pop. I'm always cool with calmly defending. I don't think you should ever be a doormat, but I like to calmly defend. And when I realize that I put emotions in something, then that's where I get mad at myself.
I mean, you gotta be honest with my background. I'm Italian and I grew up
know.
playing baseball. All you do
Right.
is fucking, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
That's all you do.
Snap, snap, snap.
That's all you are trained
And
to
some
do.
people are like unemotionally apologetic, and that's good. And I don't blame you. You be you. You be the authentic self that you are. But to me, I try to at least do things.
Yeah, if me and you have words, the problem is you.
Yeah,
Right.
everyone knows you're a fucking maniac.
I'm already at peace with that. Like, if you can't get along with me, the problem is you.
I think you've even surrendered to the idea. Like, yeah, I'm insane, and you're like, fuck it. Which is power?
Yeah.
Which is power.
Which is power?
Somebody wanted to know what they should do here. I'll paraphrase a bit. David had talked about how he dropped his car off at the dealership and he took the courtesy car back home. And it sounded like with the courtesy car, they may have other people in there that would drop you off. So he said there was an older lady in the back with somebody, quote unquote, Lily, the caregiver. And he was trying to figure out what was going on. So you had the older lady and then Lily, the caregiver. And Lily, or I guess Lily was the old lady, caregiver was Jen. And it looked like maybe Lily had dementia or something like that was going on.
Okay.
But you've seen that where you see the old person and they got a caregiver and they're clearly not related because
they're in the mall.
Yeah.
And the caregiver's trying to help them.
Caregiver might be in scrubs or something like that to let you know that this isn't a familial relationship.
This is a work relationship.
Or they have different ethnicities or something like that.
Right.
You can kind of tell that it's not the same. And apparently during the whole ride, Jen was pretty nasty to Lily. Just kind of barking at her and, snipping and this and that. But Jen was nice to everybody else, was nice to me, was nice to the person who was driving. I didn't say anything, but, should I have, in that moment, should I report it? I don't know exactly where this Jen worked. I know the general vicinity where they were. Maybe I can investigate and find out. But how would you handle something like that? Or you just go on about it and be like, I hated that, but oh well, I feel for Lily. I'll say a prayer for her.
If you don't know where Jen works, you're going to have a tough time trying to figure out, because there are a million healthcare, home health nurses, that sort of situation. If she's got Lily out and about and it's just the two of them, chances are she goes to Lily's house and takes care of her there and maybe brings her on a couple of outings every week, and you just caught them on an outing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know where Jen works, it's going to be really tough for you to report her. But if you did figure out where Jen works, I would say something. If I felt like an elder was being mishandled that has dementia, I would be really pissed. That it goes in the same lines as child abuse. It's an older person that can't fully function on their own, and they're reliant on you to help them. If you're being abusive to them, you're an asshole, and you should be called out. Just like if you would abuse a child.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You're abusing an elder person, and you've been put in charge of caring for them, and you're being a dick to them. I don't fucking like it. And if someone was talking to my grandma like that, and she had dementia, which she doesn't, but if she had dementia and they were abusing that scenario,
what would you do?
I would want to know about it as the person paying Jen's salary. Me and Jen gonna talk.
Well, and here's where David is now, because he, in a sense, maybe for that, and I do, Grant said you always report elder abuse, no questions asked. David's in a place now where he maybe missed the opportunity to do it the right way, to say to Jen, hey, I don't really appreciate how you're speaking to her, and I don't know how you would do it, because I don't know you'd want to do it in front of Lily, and I'm wondering if that was the only opportunity, because now where it is, all you have is the information of there was an older woman named Lily, and the caregiver was Jen. You don't know where Jen worked. You don't know anything about that. How accurate can you be? You'd hate to rat on someone else that's named Jen that is totally sweet too.
You could always ask the ride-share driver where they dropped Lily and Jen. And if it was at a facility, then it would be really easy for you to figure out where Jen works.
Can the ride-share driver tell you that? I think that's against the rules.
Is it?
You can't do that. That'd be like
he's not a real ride-share driver. He works for the dealership. And I think you're doing the Lord's work at that point.
Lord's work that won't fall under
I would take it up the chain of management at the dealership and say, hey, this was going on in one of your service cars, dropping people off, and I want to report this person for elder abuse. Can you please let me know where Lily and Jen got dropped off?
Okay. Yeah.
I think
you're trying to do the right thing.
If you drop something, elder abuse, they're going to get scared. They're going to want to investigate.
They don't want to be complacent in elder abuse. No dealership would. And maybe just say, I don't want to have to say what dealership this happened at, that you guys were complacent and wouldn't help me.
Right. Yeah, I think because you sent us an email, it's something that's still on your heart. And
there's a reason it's on your heart, because your heart's telling you to do the right thing. And this could be your sign. This could be your sign to follow through and figure out who Jen works for.
One text says you can search on state AHCA AHCA site. AHCA site for home health companies.
It's an easy website to remember.
I think it would be...
Is that an algebra equation?
We're tapping out.
Yeah.
My guess is American Health Company Association.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
They can't come up with something better than that shit.
AHCA. Agency for Healthcare Administration. There you go.
You need
Agency
to be like,
for Healthcare
nurses
Administration.
are us. Make it easy.
Okay. So anyway, there you go. So yeah, that's our thoughts on that. But I hear you, and that would be very sad and tough.
Yes, but you should speak up because it's the same thing as child abuse, and you would speak up if you saw that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let me see. We got some other emails here. One saying, adding to your conversation about people trying to snatch up women and girls. That's from Friday with the TikTok video of the mom saying there was a strange man at the Wawa in West Palm Beach that told my daughter, come here and help me with my car lever, whatever it is, for the gas tank. And she called her mama and said, I feel kind of weird. This guy's giving me creepy vibes. She said, I always tell my kids two things. Adults should never ask a kid for help or ask you to keep a secret. I tell them there's nothing they could ever do, no matter how bad, that would take our love away from them. And anyone who tells them to keep a secret from us or ask us for their help is making a really bad decision, and they should get away because they are being dangerous. My kids are 8 and 5.
Yes.
My mom beat it into our heads about creepy men. she to a point where I think it was a little over the top, but yeah, she just made us say, if an adult dude's walking up to you and asking you some weird shit, you need to get the fuck out of there quickly.
There's no reason for adults and kids to have secrets. Mommy and daddy get to know everything that you do, everything that you're up to. You have to be honest and completely transparent with mommy and daddy.
And you gotta understand too, little kids at 8, 7 years old, I know I was trained as a kid. If an adult tells you something, for the most part, you listen to them. And I can see an adult really getting a kid's head and scaring the fuck out of them, saying, this is our secret, don't you ever say anything. And that poor kid's going to be tormented with keeping that.
It happens every day.
All the time.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there are no secrets. We tell mom and dad everything because it's mom and dad's job to protect you.
Yeah.
I scare the crap out of my kids.
You do, huh?
And you wonder, do you go too far?
Oh, yeah.
Where's the line? You want your kids to be prepared, of course, right?
You do.
But you also don't want them to be afraid of everybody. I mean, every time I look at a van, I go, murder. I don't know if that's the right mind frame.
White van that's dinged up and has lots of dents in it, definitely murder.
If you are a dude that's got facial hair driving a dinged up van, I know for a fact you've committed some type of horrific crime. And that's because my mom told me.
I'd rather have my kids a little scared and jumpy than unprepared and just going through the world like Mr. Magoo.
We used to play a game as kids, murder van or not. There's vans that are too nice looking. They're like, no, there's no way there'd be murder going on. How about that van? Oh yeah, there's a dent in it.
Totally.
Definite murder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If a van's got a logo on it, probably not murder van. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do see what you're saying.
But if it's missing a hubcap,
But if the logo is half peeled off, murder.
if you can't tell, yeah, and it's not their logo. They bought
Right.
that van from someone. That's murder.
Yeah.
A murderer right now is taking notes. He's like, just make up fake business, get fake logo.
You could totally do
If there's
that.
any
Check.
different
Clear.
paint work on this van, like if any of it doesn't match the rest of it,
Yes.
murder.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's no working seatbelts, murder.
Okay.
A lock on the back.
Well,
Whenever I
that's-
see that,
that's
where it's got like a big cargo lock on the back, there's
Right.
probably victims in there right now.
They said that's what Bundy did. He took out all when these victims would get in the car, they'd go to get out, and there's nothing there to grab.
The handle's gone.
He took it out. Yeah, he deliberately made a murder car.
That would be pretty terrifying.
Horrifying.
You get into a car and you shut the door and then you go, wait.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I got an email from Samantha. She said, I went to a PTA meeting and the 5th grade Washington, D.C. trip is $1,250.
Shit that.
That's inflation for you. How can a parent afford that?
$1,250.
Yeah, that's insane, huh?
Whoa.
Funny enough, I was not allowed to go to my safety patrol because my mom thought they were going to be murderers.
Really? Okay, yeah.
It's not safe on the safety trip.
Exactly.
It's called safety patrol, yet it's not safe.
Is that ironic?
I'm on your mama's side. My kids ain't going on that shit either.
I didn't go on that trip, and that's where I met Bigfoot, my kidney brother, for the first time. And he wasn't allowed to go to Washington because he was being bad. He got in trouble.
Okay.
I was allowed to go because I was a pussy. My mom wouldn't allow me to go.
I do have to tell you, like, some of those trips, though, I mean, they can get a little bit squirrely. I remember for us, it was 5th and 6th graders. And, you know, our trip, that's where I got thrown outside of my hotel room naked and locked out.
In 6th grade?
Yeah, 6th grade.
See, all kind of shenanigans can happen, and your mama's not there to help protect you.
1980s kids from Logan, Ohio? The meanest fucking people on the planet, probably.
Completely mean, yeah. Terrible people. No.
I'm saying redneck kids in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, no, redneck kids in the 80s, a very, very tough sense of humor.
Don't give a fuck.
It was all a joke.
Yeah.
Kids are still assholes, y'all. Current kids are just as bad.
But they're more pussies. I'm saying back in the 80s, they'd throw a motherfucker out naked.
Oh, it's all, yeah.
Yeah. They didn't know TikTok.
Well, it was a tough thing to explain because one of the nuns at the Catholic school saw me out there naked and thought I was... It was tomfoolery. But what
it was your choice.
Well, I answered the door in my towel, and because I'd just been down at the pool with everybody, and my buddy Dan comes in. He's like, "Hey," she said, "Did you see that thing down there?" And I look out, and I said, "What?" And he shoves me and rips my towel off and slams the door and locks it.
Damn.
And I'm like, "Hey, let me in!" I'm making all this noise, and I turn around and look, and there's the head nun of the Catholic school, and she's looking up at me, and she's just like so disapproving.
Did somebody say cut and go, "This is the best 80s movie ever"?
No.
Because, oh my God.
And I'm pounding on the window, and here come the girls, and I'm trying to cover myself up. And
it's the stuff of nightmares.
It's terrifying.
I mean, most people would be terrified to be naked in front of their peers.
How did you ever recover?
It's tough.
That's so tough.
In 6th grade, were you still Bubba Chunks?
I wasn't. Yeah, I was Husky Kev.
Morphing out.
I was kind of like preparing to take it up a notch.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was my fattest in 8th grade. So I was a husky kid from 4th, 5th, 6th.
Little in the middle, but she got much back.
Yeah, and then 8th I went full on lard ass and then dipped down to thin.
Oh man, I want to hug Hefty.
Yeah, it's tough.
You better bring an extra arm.
You didn't want to be outside naked if you were me.
I get it.
Never been a good thing. It was tough.
Oh, if you're not confident with your body, you want motherfuckers looking at you.
No.
You don't want that shit.
Even if you have the best banging 6th grade body,
right,
you don't want anybody looking at you naked because you're so emotionally a wreck with hormones and nerves and insecurities.
But if you got weight to you, you're already self-conscious. You don't want to be naked. That's got to be rough.
Right, yeah. Yeah, just to clarify, I wasn't swimming naked. I had been down swimming. I came back, took a shower, knocked on the door, let me in. I'm like, geez. I'm rushing because I had just a towel on. I'd just gotten right out of the shower. And he's like, let me in. I think the place is on fire or something. And so I would have put on shorts first, but the banging of the door that was going on, and there it was Dan, and then the whole exchange.
It was a setup.
That's how that happened. Yeah, I wasn't
this guy.
Fuck Dan. Where's Dan today?
He's still in Logan.
Good.
Still in Logan. Yeah,
Thank God.
He's out in the country.
Thank God you got out.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in quite a while.
How dare you, Dan?
I wish I would have paid him a little visit when I was up there.
Go out there and rough him up.
Dan was kind of a badass. I think, yeah.
Okay, Dan would have kicked your ass.
Oh, you had 3 pussies up there.
Dan's a country boy. Dan, I think, would whoop the living shit out of.
You couldn't beat Dan with a blindfold on him.
No, he's country strong.
It was me, Denny's, and Ponton. Just we're 3 peaceful pussies.
Dan would have made you his bitch.
Dan's kind of an ass kicker.
I would kick my ass. It kills me. He would throw me off a cliff.
He was,
and then he would put you out there naked, and then the full circle embarrassment.
He was physically different. He was dunking a basketball in 8th grade, and he was white. I don't know how that happened, but yeah.
There were some dudes that were just men by 8th grade.
He had a full beard in 7th grade. It's just so when Dan's knocking on the door, you got to answer the
You
damn
open the door for Dan.
I went to school with a kid named Willie, and in 7th grade, holy fuck, he was a man.
It's unreal.
He was a man.
It's unreal how just it's like they advanced 5 years. You always have that one. Dan was that guy. Don't fuck with Dan.
But that being thrown out naked in front of kids and all that stuff and around other people, that would mess a lot of people up, man. They had to have fucked with you a little bit.
Nobody in Logan would allow for that. They're just like,
you bury it real deep down inside.
Yeah, you have to bury it. You have to keep eating it.
So
it's just
fucked up.
No one would want to hear about your pain.
You're emotional.
Yeah.
Drown your sorrows in some oatmeal cream pies, Fat Kevin.
You could never show sadness or yeah. It was just you had to just
and
eat
you
it.
say the Queen's the same way. You can't.
Yes, you just have to eat it. I'm used to it.
You married Logan.
Kevin needs a 3-hour cry.
So it's not strange to me. It's not at all foreign. I get it. I grew up with it. I'm still living with it.
Bury it, pussy.
Yeah. That's just really it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I was on that. I was reading a story today they had about Brad Pitt. And, he's trying to get a hold of the softer side of Brad Pitt now because I guess he's starting to realize that he may be to blame for many of his relationships.
Oh, and he just got publicly called out by Jolie again with more details.
More again?
No, you had the
just
story.
last week.
The fucking time I pay attention in the dirt.
Yeah, last week he did. That was ridiculous. I mean, oh wow, what she's saying. If it went down like that,
you had reports of him strangling and fucking just dropping,
spilling drinks on kids on purpose,
beers on them,
dropping elbows.
No, she said he dumped beer and wine on the kids' heads on purpose. I was like, wait, what?
It wasn't a good look for Pitt.
Yeah. No, this guy came a little unhinged. Yeah, you gotta,
And is that true?
Who knows?
That's the question. Is it true?
Who knows? And like I said, it'd be hard for him to defend because if he was blackout drunk.
Right.
I know those kind of situations. Sometimes like, I didn't do that. And you're like, how do you know you're drunk? Oh.
Kevin, here's the footage.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so Brad Pitt was talking about his toxic masculinity. He said, you have to understand, at least where I grew up, we're more the Clint Eastwood character. You hold everything within. You're capable. You can deal with anything. You don't show weakness. Said I saw it my dad and older generations of actors and men. It's exhausting. And so I'm like, yeah, that's kind of, he's from Missouri, and that's kind of all cut from the same cloth.
Well, it's like anything. You want a balance. You don't want someone that's so extreme that never shows their feelings on anything. And you also don't want somebody that shows their fucking feelings about everything.
Right.
You want a balance.
Pick your moments. Yeah. So that's kind of where it is. But I get you, Brad. I get you.
Just bury it. Bury it, pussy.
That's it. That was it. Oh, wow. That was a big always in low. You try, oh, wow. And then you're like, oh, shut up.
I mean, they have to be tough as shit up there because of that.
That's
tougher.
It. Yeah, they are. Yeah, or at least they act that way.
But the downside is that they're too tough as shit.
And then they come unhinged and they go shoot something
and
off.
they beat somebody up to death.
Yeah, right. They kick a man to death.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's a blemish. It's a blemish on the town.
Again, balance would be nice.
You're good until 20 years later you kick a man to death.
Ooh.
Casey has a couple ideas. She said, after hearing Virginia's audio from the tens machine, I think it'd be a great punishment to have you guys call a family member, one that would be uncomfortable, not like a panda, and play the audio like a pocket dial. A lot of people said it sounded sexual.
That is. We got to get back to calling some people. That's fun. I like doing that.
The audio made me feel uncomfortable.
That was such a good bit. We released that twice on social media on the same forum, and it did pretty good. It was just you. Hit me, daddies.
How about this? You hook me up to the tens machine, and we call the Juicy Daddy, and we don't tell him what's up.
Funny enough, as uncomfortable and as awful as that would be for my father, I would fucking love to hear that. I would love to. We might have to do that. I mean, he would hate it, and he would be so confused. But the product after is what I'm looking for.
Right.
I think it would be,
and then you call him and tell him what's up.
Yeah. I would love to. We have to do that, I think. He hasn't been listening either, so now's the time to
perfect.
do it. Yeah.
It's time to hit him.
Yeah.
Time to hit him. Yeah.
Might be it then. Thank you for the suggestion. Christina from Brooklyn said, I always loved and looked forward to the Song Association game where Kevin gives one word and you have to sing a song. The word has in it, if you're cycling through bits or refreshing the schedule, I'd love for that one to come back. Yeah, I think we probably will. We just had gone through it for a while, and then we rolled the Hank Pinks in for a while. But yeah, as soon as we'll roll that back out, we might roll that back in.
I had 2 people over the weekend, and I swear this really happened. I know it sounds like I'm pushing for Hank Pinks. Stop and tell me they like Hank Pinks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
At first I got a lot of hate. I think some people are coming around. I love Hank Pinks.
I know you do. That's why we play it for you.
It's just for me. No, I thought you like him.
You got to keep your baby happy. I don't want this baby crying. I keep this baby happy.
You don't like Hank Pinks, Kev?
Well, we'll see where we are. Suits, should we keep or kill Hank Pinks? I'll have him do a poll right now.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see where
You better
people
go
are
vote.
in the chat.
I want to make it pure.
Right now.
Let the people. This ain't about me. It's about the people.
300 people plus in there right now. So we'll see what we get.
Okay.
So Suits will put up a poll, and we'll see where the audience is.
If
on
it's
it.
51%, though, Hank Pinks stay for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe
That did
maybe
not
a week
sound
or two.
concrete.
It did
You know,
not.
I've kind of thought, it's probably got a couple more weeks in it.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Where are you at with 2 Truths and a Lie?
I think it's probably about ready to take a little rest.
Yeah, I don't think I have any more stories. I think
that's about it. Yeah, and then so people are like, I'm like, I don't know how much more honest stuff that's good and juicy that I can tell.
Kev, I was at a stoplight and a dog walked by. Am I lying?
Yeah,
That's a great one.
Am I telling the truth?
yeah. I think that one's close to needing a good break.
I liked
You didn't get me till the end.
I liked your run.
Many weeks in a row, I
did.
fooled that ass.
Your shitty ass. Sometimes in baseball, you would go against a shitty pitcher, and for whatever reason, that shitty pitcher just had your number, and you couldn't beat that shitty pitcher.
I got your number, Pennington.
You did. Your fucking weak ass curveball got me.
I think right now, your Hank Pinks look safe. 74% are on the
Whoa,
keep.
it's a
Okay.
healthy number.
That's very healthy.
Yeah. Okay. So that's right now. That's
Like Husky Kev. It's healthy.
Well,
that's a vote of confidence.
It's quick and it's on a Friday, so it's not
Right.
so offensive.
no.
Yeah. So I think that'll stay for a while. I think 2 Truths and a Lie getting a little bit of a break. We got to hopefully give it some time so maybe you guys forget some of the stories, or else we got to go out and do some scandalous stuff.
Where are you at with digital drama?
There's still some interesting stuff on there. I do kind of like to see what people are going off on. And, somebody had just sent one in today that was kind of
It's everyone. I think everyone goes through it too.
Totally.
We saw.
And
we
people
saw.
screenshot them and send them to us.
We saw a great one that they deleted. We didn't get the screenshot, but there's this one person we watch all their stuff because it's always so juicy. She calls out her husband for not performing well in the bedroom.
Oh, girl.
And then it's gone now.
Why would you do that?
It got deleted. Oh my gosh, that's the kind of shit that I'm like, oh, Kevin.
Yeah, no, some of it's good and it's still entertaining. This is one that we just got. The next door is really kind of giving it some life for me. This guy who has a ponytail was just walking around the Hamptons. He was outside smoking, and someone posted his photo. And then they said, anyone know this guy? He's just roaming around. He's walking extremely slow, smoking a cigarette. This is just weird to me, no? And then that just starts it off. It's
That's
like,
kind of fucked up.
It's fucked up,
That's
right?
real fucked up.
Guys
I'm
just out,
having a ciggy
guys
break.
just out walking around having a ciggy break, and he gets doxxed on next door.
That's
and
fucked up.
That is fucked up, but it's kind of funny that that's where it is, because there's just a lot of crazy-ass neighbors out there
Well, that's what
doing this kind of stuff.
And I always wonder, where is the law on that? And are we going to finally get to a point, and I get it, he's out in a public area, but you're doxing that person, and you're creating a mood
It's
and atmosphere about that guy who really didn't do anything wrong.
And then people are going off on her, and then she's doubling down about,
yeah.
this community needs me. And it's like, oh
well,
my gosh,
the
no.
person that posts that is a double down on douche. They will
Totally.
always double down on it.
And they think that they are on the right side of the argument, too. They're very entitled. Maybe they're on the HOA.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're in their neighborhood watch group and they've been empowered somewhere to be the protector of the neighborhood. No, you're not a protector. You're just an asshole.
See, I feel like there should be a law for that, for doxing somebody and doing that shit when you don't have any proof on anything, because it's not that you're just taking a picture of somebody. You're putting a caption up there and you're setting a narrative that's not
true. That could be any of us. That could be any of us. I mean, I've walked around and I'm sure it looks sketchy. I can't tell you how many times.
Look who you're talking to.
Right.
Sketch 101.
Yeah, sketchy Sean over here.
And you don't know, and somebody posts up your photo that you don't even are aware of on a social media platform, and now you're an ongoing threat about people debating how sketchy you are.
Getting trashed.
Getting destroyed.
Because there's 25% of some crazy fucks that's going to agree with her no matter what, because they're her friends and they have the same fucked up views as she has.
Yeah.
That's messed up, man. That does make me mad. That makes me hot under the collar.
It's pretty crazy. So, I still am amused by those because just you can't believe still how crazy people are. I just like to celebrate it because they really are.
I don't know if that's going to ever go out of style. People reading crazy shit on the internet.
No, it's especially next door.
Well,
it's new, and there's a lot of older people on Nextdoor that don't understand that you can't write some stuff on Nextdoor. They write some stuff that is whack on mine.
It's great drama because there's just neighborhoods have so much drama, and you throw in HOAs and all that stuff. Like I said, Nextdoor brought it out. My neighbor the other day, he's a really cool guy. And he had a situation where during the storm, his tree kind of cracked a little bit. It was like laying on his house. And so, he's trying to get rid of it. And, with our thing in our neighborhood, you call into the HOA to take care of something. Like, you're not allowed to touch the front of your house. So I've had some stuff. My bushes are all jacked up and everything else. I'm not allowed to touch it. For 2 full years, we've been calling them, asking them to take care of it.
And 2 years and they won't trim your bush?
2+ years and they won't take care of this request that we have. So when you request something, they don't take care of it. So then when you take care of it yourself, then they're there in 2 minutes. And they're like, oh, you're getting a fine. You touched this, da-da-da. So, my buddy, my next door neighbor, he called the HOA and said, hey, there's this tree that's laying on my house. Can you guys remove it? It's
kind of important.
Responded, asked. They didn't come do it. Finally, he just gets a buddy with a truck and a chainsaw, and he's taking care of it. Sure enough, within 5 minutes, because the one nosy neighbor goes by, he's like, I could just see her just eyeballing me. 2 minutes later, a guy from the HOA shows up, and he's taking all these photos. He's standing in my yard, and he's like, buddy, he's like, get the fuck out of my yard. He's like, I don't want you taking photos. I got my kids out here. He's like, just get the fuck out of here. And the guy's like, I can be wherever I want. He's like, no, you're on my grass. That's my private property. So the guy stands on the sidewalk and continues taking photos. And this next door neighbor, he's great. He's from New York. He's like, you're about to get that camera shoved so far in your ass, you're never going to get it out.
I love it.
Yeah, I did too.
Fight back. When the HOA is being a douche, a tree is on the man's house.
And I've done what I'm supposed to do.
You've asked several times.
Do I leave a tree on my house for 2 years? Because that's how long my next door neighbor's been waiting for service.
You know the kind of damage that tree can do to your roof?
Exactly. And so now they're getting the evidence to fine him. So they had the photo proof. We got the proof that you were messing with a tree.
That is so fucked up.
If the HOA person had the right temperament for the trade, you would go,
they never can.
They don't, because you'd have to, because just being a human, you go, all right, this person's going to be in a crabby mood anyway because there's a tree on their fucking house. Let me be cool. But it sounded like they walked up with HOA dick chips on their shoulder.
They're not there to help. They're only there to hurt. And that's what's annoying about HOAs. If they were cool and be like, hey, man, we're going to try to help
never be cool.
You guys pay a shitload of money to us, and we do. Then that's gone up.
Yes, we do too.
Pay a ridiculous amount of money and be like, hey, we want to keep you guys happy. We want to do good service by you. If they had that attitude, you'd be cool with it, and you try to play by the rules.
You'd be cooler with it.
When they don't ever respond to you, they only take your money, and they're only there to hurt, not to help. That's when you hate your HOA.
Well, it was explained to me when I first moved in my neighborhood, and I didn't understand it back then, but I understand it now. So there was this guy who ran for the board president, and he was a level-headed guy, a smart guy, a guy who had lots of business experience. He came in there to help run the HOA, but he didn't know how effed up they were. And he quit because he said, you guys are psychotic and I can't let you bring me down to your level. So when you do have a rational person that joins the HOA, they run them off. with their insanity. No one in their right mind would stick around for any long period of time because you can't fix a large group of insanity, and they're not going anywhere.
Well,
they're so happy that they have something to be up in arms about. They love being up in arms because it gives their life purpose.
My neighbor and the Queen are thinking about running for the HOA board and getting everybody on our block, because we do have pockets. We're starting to meet out with the cool neighbors. You got the cool neighbors and then the assholes. It's kind of like there's a divide.
You got to totally flip it, though. You got to get rid of like 6 or 7 people.
They just want to go in there and cause chaos.
Yeah, I love it.
So they're just going to go in there for the fight because they're just like, we're tired of the shit, so we're going to go in there. We're going to cause some fights. And I'm like, please do it because I'm going to record the drama.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have some good shit for the show.
That's great.
It is really kind of a crazy concept.
It's going to be a war. I don't know if they're going in there to actually solve anything. They're just going in there to fight the motherfuckers.
Hey, sometimes it's fun just to shake shit up.
Exactly, yeah.
I wish I would have been rolling tape on the meeting that we had when they turned the architectural board, which is a subset of my HOA.
Yeah.
They are the ones that held this big meeting for me to get my pool. And I brought all these different people. I brought a lawyer. I brought a HOA guy. I brought other, experts, but this board was steadfast that I wasn't getting my pool, and it got ugly. And the guy from the pool company stood up at one point and goes, "This is the most fucked up HOA I've ever seen. I've never seen any HOAs in 20 years of pool installation run a community like this. You guys are fucking ridiculous." And he left. He walked out of the meeting.
It's honestly, it's some of the best drama you ever get.
I wish I would have had tape of that.
Reading off transcripts from crazy, insane, off the chain HOA meetings would be very entertaining.
It's an odd concept when you really think about it, especially if you live close with your neighbors. You know, a lot of times you don't pick your neighbors, and you've got all kind of different personalities on that street. And even near me, you've got a house that is, decked out in Trump stuff, right next to a house decked out in Biden stuff.
Wow.
So close to one another.
Right.
And you wonder, because when you're throwing it out there so much like that, you want a conversation.
You need to put a camera on them.
You want people to talk about that. And you wonder how they coexist, and are they cool with each other, or is it just a constant fuck you, fuck you? You wonder.
Yeah. No, it's really good stuff.
It's probably fuck you,
it's
fuck
good
you.
entertainment.
You hope it's not. You hope they both could peacock who they want. And
You've watched politics. What do you think it is?
My guess would be that it's not, but who knows?
In fact, I think we could actually do more with some of those scripts. There's probably some more. There's probably a ton more material that we're not getting. In fact, just HOA theater would be amazing.
Yeah, we have costumes too.
I requested the transcripts from that meeting because I was going to give them to the lawyer. He wanted them because we were going to sue my HOA, but then I was just like, why am I still in this? It was becoming such a negative soul suck that I just was like, forget it. I'm not suing the HOA. I'm not getting involved in all that because then half the neighborhood's going to hate me.
Why don't you if you don't mind, bring some makeup in for Wednesday when we do the digital drama. Let's kick it up a notch. I'll bring some costumes in. We can really get into this. Fuck it.
No, it would be great. Honestly, it'd be a great TikTok theme where if you had real HOA meetings and you could do the whole costume thing and reenact them, because legally I don't think you could play any of the audio video on it, so I don't think you get away with that.
You have to reenact.
So I think you'd have to reenact it, but that would be funny. You'd be putting on old people costumes and, because the scripts would be absolutely amazing, but they would be real transcripts from HOA.
That's one thing I do need.
The one guy on that committee was so mad, and he's so old. I was like, this is going to kill him. He had to be in his late 90s.
He just gave me an idea, too. I don't really have any old costumes. I need old people costumes, so thank you for that reminder.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going through a revamping of my costumes right now, so this is a perfect time.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you're doing the important work.
We fucking need costumes. Oh, come on. I pride ourselves in being a little vaudeville.
Yeah.
At least I feel I'm vaudeville.
Oh, you're so vaudeville.
I love vaudeville.
Maybe we can start finding some scripts. And people who don't live in South Florida, it is an oddly unique thing.
It is. I never saw this in Louisiana. There's no HOA.
No, and even somebody in the chat room, Octopus, is saying, California has a gated communities, but never really heard of the HOAs. And it's an odd thing that I think what it is, it's because of the retirees.
Right.
They need something to bitch about. And so they've created a lot of these home associations or whatever they are, homeowners associations, and they create all these crazy rules. Like I said,
because it gives them purpose.
It does. It gives them purpose and it gives them power.
Right.
And The problem and the fault with all of them is none of them are there to help you out. They're only there to overcharge you and then to be in ticky-tack, give you fines, and be a pain in your ass.
Be a dick. The guy that I caught taking pictures of Denny's station wagon when he had a water leak, he was up at 5 o'clock in the morning, just so full of energy. And he had the attitude of a dick. He was there to do nothing but fuck people over.
They walk around with clipboards in my neighborhood, and they'll be like in somebody's backyard with a clipboard, like looking at your house, like, motherfucker, that's how you get hit with a paintball in the temple.
I thought you said clipboard. I'm like, that's different. My headphones are all shit.
You hear what you want to hear. Someone's looking to whispering some clit.
And so in California, they want to know, so what is the purpose of an HOA? In good theory, if it was done right, they do keep a regulation on. I've seen before, and I've been in places where your neighbor has a car on blocks in their front yard and it's an eyesore.
And it brings down the property values of everybody.
It's trying to be like, hey, everybody, if everybody was cool and kept their house and their yard clean and kept and all that. So we have one service that does all the grass and all that so that the lawns are always immaculately mowed and things like that. So that's what could be good with it. But it's just they fall apart. Going the extra mile.
They just get too mad with power.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot.
Well, in anything, humans get mad with power. You gotta check yourselves, and the HOA ain't checking themselves.
Yeah.
Never.
No,
it's our job to check the HOA.
That's where the fault comes in, because it's kind of like honestly, I think it's a lot of times the attitude even with good and bad law enforcement.
It is.
The good law enforcement is like, hey, I want to go there to protect people and help them out in life and be a community servant, and then other people are like, I just want to bust motherfuckers and hit them with batons.
Anytime there's a position of any kind of power, which all of what you're saying has power. Yeah. Shit, even the people back at the old Colonel Corn I used to go to, there was a little place in the mall. They had the power to give free caramel corn out to people. And I remember the one guy was so nice who just worked there. Then he became a manager, and he was a dick because he had the power to give out free caramel corn.
Mad with power.
Mad with power. Yeah. He went from cool dude to cock because he had the manager title.
We've seen it so many times in our career. It is crazy. Some people, they can't handle it and be cool. They have to go the dick route.
He'd only give it to certain girls, the caramel corn. He'd make people really sing for it.
That was his power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it went to his head.
Maybe you just weren't feeding what he needed.
Yeah, I definitely, I was not what he was looking for. This is back in the 80s. He was real sleazy. He was a dick.
All right, well, there you go. Full breakdown on HOAs and Hank Pinks.
I love it.
Yes, and my own breakdown. Thank you all for listening.
Aww.
It's like therapy.
You're entitled.
Yeah. All right, y'all have a great Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.